Hi, everyone. Well, good morning, Martin from UK, and good evening, good afternoon. All right, welcome to Leisrealtalk. I wonder where everyone is. Anyways, that's okay. Um, can you guys hear me? All right, okay, it's good. We'll talk about TikTok today. It's the subject is quite interesting. I didn't know what I was finding, but when I found out the issue, I think I was determined to talk about it. Oh, hi everyone. Okay, good, good. You guys can hear me. I was a little concerned that the audio doesn't work. Okay, good. All right, so TikTok has been in the news a lot lately. The Americans are debating if we should ban TikTok or not. It is owned by a Chinese company called ByteDance, and it was the most downloaded mobile app in 2022 with 672 million downloads. It has 1 billion users worldwide and 80 million. The United States has 80 million active users. Um, Last November, FBI Director Chris Wray said that Beijing could use the app to collect data for espionage, and the app's recommendation algorithm manipulates content and is used for influence operations. Some American politicians, like Senator Josh Hawley and Marco Rubio, are calling for a complete ban of TikTok in the US, saying that TikTok is China's backdoor into Americans' life. It threatens our children's privacy as well as our mental health. I actually have a slide. Yeah, here we go. Um, and Senator Rubio called TikTok digital fentanyl that's addicting Americans and collecting troves of American data. However, others believe that the harm of TikTok has been exaggerated. Um, I think I have a slide. And like the editors of Bloomberg News, they expressed their view in this editorial yesterday. This was dated January the 30th. And I have a quote from them as well. And they said this, they said, the most important reason to avoid a ban is that it would be a missed opportunity. And so it suggests that the Biden administration should use TikTok, um, or use allowing TikTok to be in the U.S. Sort of as a bargaining chip to negotiate with the Chinese or with the CCP for business reasons. So that's the opinion of the Bloomberg editors. I thought it was quite interesting that they didn't publish an opinion of others. They collectively wrote this opinion and stood strongly behind TikTok. So while Americans are debating among themselves about the future of TikTok in the country, the ownership of TikTok has mysteriously changed hands. It's no longer owned by ByteDance, the company established by Chinese billionaire um, Zhang Yiming. So here's the news that sort of came out last week. Yeah, last week that announced that a new company is now fully is controlling TikTok, and Zhang Yiming, here's his picture, the guy who founded ByteDance and who started TikTok, is no longer a shareholder. Um, and what's most striking is that on January 19th of this year, a company that has been established for less than 3 weeks took control of TikTok's parent company. It's called Douyin Company, Douyin. And the founder of, and this guy is basically out of the picture. And the company, here's the screenshot of the Chinese, the new name. On the top is the name of the new company called Xiamen Xinchen Qidian Technology Limited. And it owns 98.81% of the company that owns TikTok. And then the man, Zhang Lidong, is currently the chairman of the company, and he owns 1.19. So these are the only two owners of the company that owns TikTok. So people were shocked to find out that overnight, a company, and also in terms of valuation, ByteDance was established in 2016 with a registered capital of 100 million yuan. And then the new company that's owning 98.81% of TikTok only puts in 1 million yuan. Okay. And TikTok's valuation now, I think in 2022 was roughly $200 billion. And so people are saying, how could this, who is this company? And the company is the legal representative is by the name of Li Ying, and nobody knows who she or he is. And this company was registered on December 30th, 2022. So the Chinese call it a small shrimp eating a big whale. Any discerning eye can tell that this is abnormal, and the government, the CCP, must be behind it. And Chinese netizen pointed out that the Xiamen Xinchen whatever technology company is a shell company set up by the authorities for the purpose of having complete control of TikTok. Okay, so I have not come to that point yet. So let me come back. So it's very clear to us that Zhang Yiming, the founder, is no longer the boss. He's completely out of the picture, and the boss is the CCP. Actually, Beijing's effort trying to control these big tech companies has been going on for several years. Since 2016, the CCP has been implementing a new shareholding system called special managing shares. So although the shareholder isn't a majority shareholder, the special managing shares range from 1% to 10%. But this 1% special managing shares allow the shareholder, whoever owns this special managing shares, it's usually a state-owned entity. That entity is entitled to sit on the board of the company with voting right and also with the veto power. So if this 1% special managing shareholder wants to veto something, he or she can. So that has been what the CCP has been doing since 2016 to control these high-tech companies. After the 20th Party Congress, Beijing has speeded up the control. So at present, just to give you a list of companies that have been assigned this 1%, or it's 1 to 10%, it varies, has been assigned this special managing shareholder, are Sina Weibo's subsidiary called Beijing Microdream. Maybe it's the micro platform, and then the Beijing Kuaishou technology, and then also two NASDAQ listed company, Toutiao and 36KR. By the way, these two stocks have gone down so much. I think one of them was at one point $136 on NASDAQ, and it's like 90 cents now. So these four big tech companies have all been assigned the state-owned special managing shares. Now, that's still not enough. Beijing feels like it still doesn't have complete control. So in April, ByteDance was assigned this 1% special managing share in April 2021. That's 2 years ago. And the company that was holding 1% is called Wangtou Chinese Beijing Technology. It's owned by 3 CCP state agencies. And that was the company that was that holds that 1%. And Financial Times reported that a formal official of China's Cyberspace Administration has joined the board of the company and has a say in the business strategy, investment plans, and mergers and acquisitions of the company. So in less than 2 years, right? It's only been 2 years since ByteDance went through that transformation, but now CCP is becoming impatient and doesn't want to play that game anymore. So with TikTok, it has abandoned the special managing shares and blatantly took over the company in broad daylight just by starting a new shell company that has 1 million yuan in assets and just take over, become that owns 98, almost 99% of TikTok. A few days ago, January 17th, China's outgoing vice premier Liu He gave a speech at Davos economic forum, and vowed that China would continue with market economy and reforms. While he was saying that, the founder of ByteDance, Zhang Yiming, lost his company. No wonder Bradley Thayer, the China policy director at the Center for Security Policy, said in an article on 21st of January that every word of Liu He in Davos was a lie. This is another proof that under the CCP's rule, China has neither rule of law nor market economy. So why did Beijing do this, right? So mid-December last year, the U.S. Senate passed a bill banning U.S. federal employees from using TikTok. And to date, more than 20 states have banned TikTok on government devices. Some colleges and universities have also banned TikTok on their campus. Is Beijing's determination to have full control of TikTok a response to the U.S. banning of TikTok in America? No, I don't think so. I do not think the CCP cares so much about the U.S. ban. The CCP's full control of TikTok is geared towards Taiwan or Taiwan unification. The new company that now controls TikTok is based in Xiamen, Fujian. Fujian is the province that's directly across from the Taiwan Strait. Remember, I think it was last year, maybe fall last year, October last year, I did a video about the overseas Chinese police stations. It was a report done by a European nonprofit organization called Safeguard Defender. They released a list of 110 overseas police stations outside China. Those police stations are not run by the Ministry of Public Security in Beijing, nor was it run by the state security. It was run, or the 100+ overseas police stations are run by a provincial police station. Guess where it is? It's Fujian province. And I pointed out in my video that these overseas police stations were set up as a wartime propaganda or procurement center for the CCP outside China. And that's why they were almost sort of everywhere. They were set up more heavily in Europe than the US. You can watch that video. But most interestingly, it was set up by the Fujian provincial police. Why is it Fujian? Because Fujian will be the front line, the battleground, what people say, the frontline command center in a war with Taiwan, because that's the province that's directly across from Taiwan. Now, Xiamen, the company that controls TikTok now is based in Xiamen, and Xiamen is the city that's closest to Taiwan. It's only about 10 kilometers or 6.5 miles away from the Cayman Island. So it's the closest mainland Chinese city to Taiwan. And this company that controls TikTok is based there. Now, those of you who joined me on my January 26th live, which was last Thursday, I talked about Xi Jinping's two recent personnel appointments related to his Taiwan strategy. And one was the head of the Taiwan Affairs Office. Remember the guy by the name of Song Tao was a senior diplomat with intelligence background who managed CCP's international liaison department. He had years of experience in intelligence and subversive functions. So his appointment caused a lot of people to, wonder why. Why would Xi Jinping choose someone that had no Taiwan affair experience, right, to run the Taiwan office? But other people quickly point out that it's because Song's background is in intelligence and the United Front work. The United Front work is a term that the CCP used to mean domestic or international influence operations or infiltration. So, putting Song to be in charge of the Taiwan Affairs Office shows that Xi Jinping recognized the risks of taking Taiwan by military force. But instead, he has turned to what I call a softer offense strategy, a softer but more deceptive offense strategy. So CCP will rely on espionage infiltration through a cognitive warfare by using its united front apparatus. And this is how it succeeded in the war against Kuomintang in the 1940s, because militarily it cannot win on the battleground, but CCP is best doing deceptive work or manipulative work. And so that's how it won the war in the 1940s. And I think it's going to, use that again in the upcoming conflict with Taiwan. And so, believe it or not, Xi's strategy is explained in this one online meeting minutes. It's called, let me show you. I have a picture of that. Not this one. Oh, here we go. Yeah. So this one is called it's called Internet United Front Experience Sharing Document. It's basically a document that summarizes kind of a session or a meeting where the CCP leaders in the region, it omitted the names of the region, that discussed United Front work, right? By United Front, I mean the CCP meant infiltration work. And I translated, it's very telling, and I translated part of it for you. So this section is kind of a synopsis, and it basically just said it wants to take full advantage of internet. It's good. The strategy is going to be an internet-based strategy, right? It's taking full advantage of the omnipresence of internet and the viral speed of the internet to get into new territory of its deceptive work. And then it's going to establish sort of new media, new platform. So it says, for example, it says it wants to turn internet into a platform that enhances public influence at the grassroots level and guides public opinion. So it's very direct. It basically wants to build these omnipresent platforms where the populace gather and communicate and express their opinions. And then that platform allows the CCP to influence them at the grassroots level and guide public opinion. Yeah, so that's the synopsis. Let me go to the next page for you. And it has a quote from Xi Jinping, and I think this quote is very telling. Xi Jinping said, "The internet is currently the main front of propaganda and ideological work. If we don't go occupy this battlefield, others will. If we don't get united with the people, others will make friends with them." I think he explained it very clearly. what his goal is, right? And then the next page, this is a long, long page. It omitted the key numbers, but I kind of summarized in this is kind of their uh, task list. So I kind of just summarized it for you. Yeah, it's a lot of personnel work. So it talks about explore new ways of managing the internet talents, meaning the influencers. So it's not quite sure how to manage the mass number of internet influencers who want to work for them. So it asks the staff to come up with new ways of managing this talent, and then it wants to develop a database, and then show their political, religious, economic, and social affiliation. And it wants to provide training. There are a lot of trainings, right? They want to train the United Front influencers. They want to provide training on how to create contents, like how to produce short videos, how to write script, and so on. And then it specifically mentioned TikTok, um, Kuaishou, and then Tencent's micro video platforms. So it just spells out its work, how it's going to recruit, manage, and groom these influencers to carry out the CCP's narrative. So yeah, and then there are two media platforms. It talks about it talks about social media platforms. Let me come back. That are it likes the short video format, and it's going to focus on large social media platforms that supports short videos. So without a doubt, TikTok and it is the number one, is their number one priority, followed by the little red book called 小红书, because they are they fit into that criteria. And these two platforms are the most important weapons for CCP's United Front work. Now let's talk about Taiwan. Taiwan has a population of 24 million, and it has almost 4.2 million users of TikTok. So on average, it's about you have 1 in every 6 people in Taiwan who uses TikTok. And this is growing at a 3.5% every quarter. So if you annualize that, it's about 15% annually. But for young people, the penetration rate is much higher. So young people under the age of 24, 38% uses TikTok. But for people under the age of 17, it's even higher. So for the United States, according to the Pew Research Center, 67% of teenagers between the age 13 and 17 in the United States use TikTok. And that's very high. And I think this number is comparable in Taiwan. TikTok is already the third largest social media in Taiwan after Facebook and Instagram. So it is the third largest right now. And this concerns Taiwanese, right? Do I have a slide? Yeah, this gentleman by the name of Xie Jinghe, who is a media personality who writes about finance, who's a finance commentator and media personality. He had said that a former vice president of Douyin or ByteDance or TikTok told him that the CCP has, since a few years ago, has invested close to 200 billion yuan renminbi annually, and hired hundreds of people to study how to launch a cognitive war against Taiwan. And yet Taiwanese people are not aware of that. And he said that if the Taiwanese government does not pay attention to the harm of TikTok, he said, 最后一定灭亡. In the end, it will be hopeless. They will be finished. But there's a problem. Like the United States, right? So Taiwan is a democratic country, and the citizens are free to choose whatever social media platforms they want to use. And Taiwan doesn't have the laws that prohibit TikTok from people. I mean, that prohibit people from using TikTok in Taiwan. And Taiwan right now has the same type of debates that we've seen in the United States. And people from both sides are voicing their opinions. Some said, TikTok is too dangerous. Others say, well, the harm is being exaggerated. And it's very interesting that this one guy, this man is his name is He Denghui, and he's the chief executive of Taiwan's Kuma Academy. I found its logo with a little, it's called, in Chinese, it's a Black Bear Academy. You see a black bear. But this is a nonprofit organization dedicated to public education, or educating Taiwanese on war preparation. And he said it's very difficult for Taiwanese government to do much with TikTok right now because it doesn't have any laws that can effectively ban TikTok. He said, for example, Taiwan has asked China to keep the TikTok servers in Taiwan, but their request was denied. He said that if the Taiwanese government wants to do something, it needs to reference how it's being done in Western democratic countries, such as the United States. So I think Taiwanese politicians are watching how the American politicians are handling TikTok in the United States. So I think the US Congress has the responsibility to protect not only the Americans, but also Taiwan and the Taiwanese. Because it would be totally ironic and pathetic that the United States prepares for a military confrontation with China over Taiwan, but ignores other types of warfare, such as media warfare, psychological and cognitive warfare, which is based on manipulation and deception, and which the CCP is best at. So judging from what American politicians and the media have said, I think TikTok is preparing to stay in the US for the long run. I think it somehow has figured out that the Americans, the American democracy, are just going to debate on both sides, and it sounds like the voices that's on the side of TikTok is louder than the voices that's against TikTok. Wall Street Journal reported on January 17th that the company, TikTok, has been negotiating with the US regulators for 2 years to be able to remain in the US. And in a recent talk, the company revealed details of a $1.5 billion plan for a restructure in its US operations. And last September, TikTok rented 2 office buildings totaling 658,000 square feet in Coleman Highland mixed-use tech campus right across from San Jose International Airport. And the 2 office buildings have enough space to accommodate 2,500 to 3,900 employees. The U.S. House Energy and Commerce Committee confirmed this Monday, which was yesterday, that it will hold a hearing on March 23rd. And TikTok CEO Zhou Shizhi, I think his name is Zhou Shizhi, it's a mouthful to say, he will testify before the U.S. Congress, and he will be the only witness at the hearing. So I hope American public recognize the threat of TikTok, um, and not just the threat, not just to Americans, but to the world. And I'm not saying that the guy who created TikTok, what's his name, Zhang Yiming, was a bad guy or is a bad guy. But when his product is all controlled by the CCP, no one can say it's not bad, or no one can say it's good or it's safe to use. So that's what I want to say. And let me see if people have any questions for me. Someone said if it was any other than Holly or Rubio, people might listen. But that's sad. It's not who they are. I think sadly American politics have become, it's like you judge people by what they do. Don't judge people by who they are. Otherwise we're so it should be by policy, it shouldn't be by who they are. And that's professionalism to us, right? Because we were taught being professional is judged by people's work, not by who they are. So it's sad to see that change in America. Yeah, I searched, when TikTok changed hand, when its ownership changed hand, I don't think American mainstream media talked about it. This is major. I don't understand why our media don't talk about it. Instead, the editors of Bloomberg News issued a collective editorial yesterday defending TikTok. I don't understand why. I mean, how could they not know? And this ownership change happened on January 19th. They must know. I mean, they have China news. They have people in China cover news for them. I'm just this one person doing this on my own via my computer. How could they not know TikTok changed ownership? And yet they come up with this editorial supporting TikTok. I do not understand. So that's why I feel compelled that I need to do this program. And please share this, like this video and share this video. Um, let me see if people have any questions for me. Okay. There are trolls here and there are crypto scammers here. Well, don't respond to them. Um, okay, so from Sumiland, last Sunday there was an interview with Rubio and the Democrat talking about TikTok risk. Good. I think everyone, regardless their political affiliation, they should, in the interest of protecting Taiwan, um, in the interest of protecting Americans, they should rethink about their policies concerning TikTok. All right. So if there aren't other questions for me, what does TikTok look like in China? It's not called TikTok in China. It's called Douyin. It has a different name. Oh, and also, ByteDance changed its name last May. So the company ByteDance, I don't think exists anymore, or at least it doesn't exist in relation to TikTok. The company that owns TikTok is now called Douyin Company Limited. The name ByteDance is changed to Douyin. So ByteDance may be history. So I think the CCP purposely wants to, change the name and also change the ownership, um, and then also get rid of the founder on the board. So it's right now it's a completely different company. Yeah. And Sumilan said it was the first Republican and Democrat talking and working together, and the interview was very good. Oh, I'm happy to hear that. That's the way it should be. It should be a bipartisan effort. Good. I'm glad that you brought it up. William Wan, Lei, don't you think the Americans are overspending all over the world, including Ukraine? They will not have the resources to protect Taiwan. Um, uh, I I have not thought about that. I think the war in Ukraine definitely is a distraction for the United States to be sidetracked. I think the real threat, the United States' real threat, is coming from the other side of the Pacific, and so the war in Ukraine definitely is a distraction, right? And I was just hearing one analyst talking about. So we were talking about the relations between the war in Ukraine and then the war in the Taiwan Strait. So the question is, if um, if Ukraine, let's say, if Ukraine wins the war, which looks like, I mean, it will, will the CCP attack Taiwan? Or if, in the case Russia wins, which I don't think will happen, but let's just say hypothetically, if Russia did well, would this is CCP more likely to launch a war against Taiwan? And that analyst opinion is, in either case, he thinks that if Russia loses, if Russia wins, the CCP will attack Taiwan because it will be emboldened. Now, when Russia loses, it's just a matter of time now. He believes that CCP will panic and will also launch a war against Taiwan, but for a different reason. But I thought that was quite interesting, and to some extent, I agree with him. I think that's a sound analysis. Can you have a from Vern Deuker? Can you have a discussion with a U.S. politician as one of your online topics? Can I have a discussion with a U.S. politician? If they want to come on my show, I'd love to talk to them. um, yeah. Okay. Even with odds against them, don't underestimate Taiwan's ability to defend itself with devastating losses. I agree. I mean, when I saw the Black Bear Academy, the Kuma Academy, I was very touched. It's so well. It's founded by private money, and these people are dedicated to preparing the people on the island for war, and through public educations and awareness. I think they're doing a great job. Yeah. And question from Yoming, how do you keep those flowers in the background growing so well? They're not real. They're not real. I have fresh flowers elsewhere, but the one in the background, it's not real. Am I giving my secret away? I should not have, but it's okay. Um, but thank you for the donation. Um, okay, so all right, so any other questions? Sorry, I'm just kind of going down the questions. At all, you should watch and talk with Paul Massaro. Okay, all right. Um, if Russia loses, wouldn't China be more likely to into Russia and secure some territory for themselves? Um, let me kind of indirectly answer your question. I think it's important to share this. I just read it today. You know, the former Chinese foreign minister Wang Yi, who is now promoted to be the head of the foreign affairs for the CCP's foreign affairs office, he's replacing the outgoing what's his name, Yang Jiechi, right? The highest ranking CCP official in charge of foreign affairs. So he's replacing him. He is going to Russia in February. And it's been said that he is going to Russia to prepare for a visit by Xi Jinping to Russia sometime in the first half of this year. I saw that today and I'm like, okay, so if Xi Jinping visits Russia now or in 2023, he's making a very clear statement, right? He's sending a very strong signal to the United States and its allies um, in terms of his relations with Russia. So I thought that was very interesting, and we should keep a close eyes on that. Um, all right. Starvation and famine and total loss of production that feeds any of their um, starvation. Yeah. The CCP is very concerned with food supplies right now. There's a propaganda program that came out recently that talks about the benefits of eating. Um, what do you call that? Uh, it's not grain. It's the um, kang. What do you say that? I forgot the English name. Um, but it's kind of the byproduct of rice. It's not even rice. So it's talking about it's so people are saying that CCP is very concerned about not having enough food to feed its people um, because of the loss of population, particularly in the rural area. I mean, China's population is severely overstated, and the COVID has wiped out also a lot of population in the rural area. And I was just talking to someone the other day about why China has been importing so much grains in the past couple of years and raising the food prices globally. So the West has suspected that China has been stocking up to prepare for war. But I think, we figured out, I was talking to a China analyst, we were saying, well, it's because China did not produce the amount of does not produce or grow enough produce as it claims. So therefore, it has to rely on import. So its grain depots are empty. It does not. There's just it has been losing farmlands to real estate projects, to the massive projects that turn rural area into township. The urbanization initiatives have lost, caused the has caused the loss of a lot of farmlands. So China is losing farmlands. China is losing farmers, and it's not producing enough grains to feed its people, and that's why it has been importing. But it doesn't tell you that because the number says it has a great harvest every year, and that's the reason why it's buying so much. But right now, with this problem is getting even more severe, and so the government is starting propaganda to tell people, uh, like eating other byproducts of rice and wheat are also a good source of nutrient. And I think that's just I just tell us what the CCP is preparing for. Um, all right, so kanji, okay. Um, all right, so I think that's it. What's the byproduct? Kang. Does anyone who speaks Chinese know how to translate kang it's not edible at all. Anyone knows how to translate kang? Bran? Is it bran? Yeah, maybe bran, but bran sounds like it's edible, but yeah. All right. So I thank you very much for joining me. Husk. Yeah, it's the husk, not the bran. Bran is, I think, is edible. It's the husk. So yeah, so CCP is putting out propaganda telling people that husks are nutritious, and the Chinese get the message. They say, okay, we need to stock up because famine and hungers are ahead of us. Um, See you. Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you, Sir Humphrey, for your donation, and thank you everyone for joining me. We had a good discussion. Please share this video. I think TikTok is a digital fentanyl that's killing, that's harming our children, and we need to raise the public awareness of the harm of TikTok, not only for ourselves but also for Taiwan. So thank you for spreading the words, and I'll see you next time. Okay, bye bye. And I learned the word husk. Okay, don't eat husk. Okay, bye bye.